As you have seen in the poriferans that they have cellular level of organization. Now here you will find in the coelenterate a tissue level of organization. So here are some of the members of the phylum Coelenterata. These are the Aurelia, which is also known as jellyfish. Then this is Hydra. You are well aware of the Hydra. Then this is Physalia. And these are the tentacles of the Physalia. They contain venom and they inject their venom in the person or in the organism, and which may paralyze that organism. And this is the pneumatophora of the organism Physalia, and due to this pneumatophora this sits above the water, as you can see in the image also. Due to this only here air is filled or gas is filled, due to which it remains on the top of the water, and due to this sits above the water. This is the Dempsey, is also known as sea anemone, and this is Spanatula, known as sea pan. So these are some of the members of the phylum Coelenterata. Now let's move on to the general characteristic feature of the phylum Coelenterata. So whatever is written in the green color, just focus on that. It is important for you from the examination point of view. So now talk about the body form. Here you will see two main types of body forms, and these are the polyp and the medusa form. So observe this figure. This is the polyp form, whereas this is the medusa form. So as you can see in the figure that this is cylindrical in shape and this is umbrella-like. Alright. So polyp form is cylindrical in shape and it usually fixed, whereas medusa form is umbrella-like and it is usually solitary. Okay, so this feature, this characteristic is known as polymorphism. Means where you will found more than two different types of individual within the same organism. Now symmetry is usually radial. Then germ layers are two. So these are the diploblastic animals. Outermost layer is the ectoderm and the innermost is the endoderm. So outermost layer is also known as epidermis and inside that is known as gastrodermis. They have tissue level of organization. Now if you see in the outermost layer, that is in the ectoderm, you will find some interstitial cells. Now these are quite important for these organisms because these cells are capable of developing into another type of cells. Like they can make reproductive cells or they can make glandular cells as well as stinging cells also. So if suppose reproductive cell is not working properly, so these interstitial cells have the capability to renew the reproductive cells. Okay, so that means they are totipotent. Alright, so means they renew all the cells of the animal. And where are they present? They are present in the ectoderm layer. So let's see here. See this, these are the interstitial cells, and in the outermost layer you will see nematocyte cell, and this is also a characteristic feature of the phylum Coelenterata. Nematocyte cells also known as nidoblast. Okay, so nidoblast cells and interstitial cells as well as epidermal cells. Now epidermal cells are epitheliomuscular type, means they provide the protection as well as they provide the musculature movement. Okay, so these are the epithelial cell which are epitheliomuscular type. Whereas in the endoderm you will see glandular cells which secrete enzymes and which these enzymes helps in the digestion. Okay, now see here, this is the nematocyte. Here you can see this is one is the unfired nematocyte, whereas this one is the fired nematocytes. You can see they had done the fire. So you know that these nematocyte cells contain a poison. Okay, so this poison enters into the organism and it may paralyze the other organism. So this is the main characteristic feature of this phylum. Now observe this. As I told you that there are two forms, body forms, they are polyp and the medusa. Now in some organism or in some animals we can say that there are only polyp form. Always you will found polyp form. Example is sea anemone. In the sea anemone polyp form is there. Okay, and wherein some you will always see the medusa form. Whereas some organisms are there like Obelia, you will find both the stages. Okay, both the forms, polyp as well as medusa. Now observe this figure. Here you can see this is the polyp of the organism. Now here this is the reproductive polyp with medusa buds. So this polyp asexually reproduce and forms buds. So these are the medusa birds. These medusa birds of, and they give rise to medusa. Okay, so this is the adult medusa. Now adult medusa, they form ova, and they form gametes. These gametes fuses, fertilization takes place, and they give rise to a larva. The larva of the these coelenterids are known as planula larva. Planula larva is the larva of the coelenterid. This larva is not present in hydra. So except hydra, others have this larva. Now this larva grow and will give rise to polyp. So medusa sexually form the polyp, whereas polyp asexually forms the medusa. So here you will find in the Abelia both the life forms, medusa as well as polyp form. Now stimulus for the discharge of nudoblast. Now when they discharge this nudoblast, you can see here this is a nudocyle trigger, this one. So whenever an animal come and touch this nudocyle, then this nudocyle stimulate and they fire their nematocytes. Okay, so nematocyte, this is fire, or we can say nudoblast are fired, and they paralyze the animal, and they partly get stimulated by the chemical. So partly by the mechanical way, or in partly by the chemical, that is glutathione. So these are the stimulus for the discharge of the nudoblasts. Alright. Now coelenterids cannot digest starch because the digestive enzyme amylase is not present in these animals. Now if you see the colonial coelenterids, you will observe members of the colony which are known as zooids. Okay, in the colonial coelenterids you will observe zooids. Now these zooids have specific function and they also vary in the form. So these are gastrozoids, dactylozoids and gonozoids. Gastrozoids, they used for the defense, whereas dactylozoids for the protection, and gonozoids produces sexual medusae. Alright, again I am repeating, gastrozoids used for defense, whereas dactylozoids for protection, and gonozoids, they produce the sexual medusae. So these all are the different types of members of the coelenterid, colonial coelenterids. Development is generally indirect. Okay, it means it includes a planula larva, whereas this larva is absent in hydra. Now if you talk about the mode of nutrition, here you will see that there is a single cavity, this which is known as gastrovascular cavity. Okay, gastrovascular cavity because gastro means it helps in digestion and also in the circulation. That's why this cavity is known as the gastrovascular cavity. So coelenterid, the meaning of the seal is cavity, and means intestine, and eta means group. Okay, so they have cavity intestine. Now cnidaria because they have stinging cells. Alright, now coelenterids have a blind sac body plan, means they have only single opening through which they take the food in as well as eject out. They are acoelomate animals, coelom is absent. Digestion is unique with extracellular digestion, which is followed by the intracellular digestion. Now if you talk about the other body system, so nervous system with network of nerve fiber in the body walls as well as in the tentacles. The brain is absent. Sensory organ may be single or complicated. Some with the eye spots called statocyst. Okay, so statocysts are the sensory organs. Then respiratory and excretory system are absent. So here gaseous exchange and excretion takes place through their body surface. And they are the ammonotonic animals. Nudoblast, these are the stinging cells. Already we have seen that these are the stinging cells which secrete hypnotoxin. This is a poison which paralyzes the organism. Now reproduction, in the polyp form you will see that they reproduce asexually by budding, whereas sexual reproduction takes place in the medusa form. Okay, so main thing you have to learn here is that they have nudoblast cells which secrete a toxin called hypnotoxin. Then there are sensory cells which is known as statocyst, and they have unique digestion, extracellular followed by the intracellular digestion. Now phylum Cnidarians are divided into 4 classes. Main 3 classes are there. This Cubozoa is not that much important, and here box jellies are there. But Anthozoa, Hydrozoa and Cephalzoa, these are the 3 main classes of the phylum Cnidarians. In the Anthozoa, only polyform is there. Only polyform, no medusa. Okay, example are true corals, sea anemones, sea pans, sea fans. Okay, so these all are the members. As this class lack which stage? Medusa, polyp stage. Sorry, lack medusa stage. Okay, only the polyp stage is there. Whereas in Scyphozoa, you will see that medusa stage is there and that polyp stage is not that much developed in the Scyphozoa. Okay, example is jellyfish. Whereas in Hydrozoa, you will see both the stages. Okay, alternate life stages between the medusa and the polyp. So these all are the 3 classes of the phylum Coelenterata.